It's gonna be the whole podcast.
Just us trying to get back in frame. This is what happens when you host, edit, produce and write your own podcast. Let's play rock, paper, scissors, best out of three.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Boom, that's me.
All right. So you
I'm
won.
a champion.
Yeah.
And that'll be all.
That's gonna be the opener?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sean Collins.
I'm Stephen Barry.
This is We Feed Them, a podcast about the people and stories that shape the food industry.
That's
and
right.
I am the rock, paper, scissors champion between the two of us. Steve's
Yeah.
the loser. He's a loser.
I'm the Stephen Barry of the podcast.
The rock, paper, scissors loser.
Yes.
The RPSL.
Yeah, that's what they call me.
Yeah.
The rules.
They used to put that on the back of your softball jersey. They wouldn't let them play baseball.
Yeah. Actually, they wouldn't let me play softball either.
We have a couple people that we went to school with that watch this.
Really?
It seems. Yeah. There's been a couple of the same names that have jumped back up in our comments and stuff like that. So they're at least watching like the social medias and stuff. So shout out Watervliet, Michigan.
Yeah.
Watervliet Public School, which is where we met.
I think I got a pretty decent education there. Even though I did
Pretty
finish.
good.
Fucking dropped out.
You basically finished. I mean, you have a diploma.
Yeah, I did enough.
Yeah, you did enough. All right. Anyway,
How's your week been?
it's been fine. You know, we record this on the first night, like opening night for my restaurant. This is the day that we come back from our break every week.
Yeah, that's right.
So sometimes you're like, "How's the week?" And I'm like, "Day one."
Yeah.
But I guess I can look back at the weekend. The weekend was good. Saturday was crazy. I don't know what was going on. Were you guys busy on Saturday?
No, we were actually really slow this weekend. We got slammed New Year's Day and then the following day, which was a Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday was, it wasn't super dead, but it was slower than it normally is, for sure.
I went out to eat New Year's Day, and they were busy in South Bend, smashed South Bend, in South Bend. I had a burger, and they were pretty busy. And I was like, man, I bet you, if you're open on New Year's Day, there's so many places closed that if you make sure that people know that you're open, it's probably a good day to actually choose to be open. Because people don't really mind working that day.
For sure.
And I don't know, we just have historically been closed here, so I just keep closing it. We have, in this restaurant, we close on Valentine's Day if it's a weekday.
Yeah.
And this year it's a Saturday. So we're going to have to be open because I can't close on a Saturday. But there was one year it was on a Monday, and I was like, hey, fuck it. Why don't we just close up and everybody go on a date or something?
Yeah, I think most people, when they go out for Valentine's Day, they'll go out that weekend anyway. You know, if it falls on Monday, they'll go out Friday or Saturday just to celebrate.
Yeah. But also, this restaurant's not going to draw
Right.
Valentine's Day traffic.
Yeah, you'd have to do some kind of sale or special or...
Yeah, a burger for $2. I don't know. Are you guys doing anything for the New Year's at your restaurant? Like any promotions or new dishes or anything?
We have a new LTO coming out that's like kind of like a budget-friendly option. And I think they're mostly doing it because there are some restaurants in the restaurant group that are struggling and they're trying to bring in traffic to those restaurants. But
Yeah.
they have to put it at all of them. So we're going to have these items that are going to fuck up our food costs for no reason, basically. Kind of seem like they suck.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hopefully it draws some traffic.
At participating
Right.
locations.
Yeah, that's what it ought to be.
But everybody's going to be participating. You're going to have to deal with the Karen.
Right.
We're doing, I don't think it's going to do much. When I run promos at this place, it doesn't really do a whole lot. It takes a long time. So we'll do daily specials, and you got to commit to it for like a year to get it rolling and get people who want to be all day happy hour regulars, or if it's going to be half off appetizers, people who are going to kind of make that their habit. that's how it seems to work in this specific business. But I am trying to do features that at least just to, I don't know, keep things a little bit interesting, just in case something catches and we go, oh shit, that worked. Because once in a while that'll happen.
Right.
Once in a while. One time we did a burger feature and I was like, today only, because I only made a little bit of the ingredients. And I came in for my night shift. I was like, hey, do you guys sell any of those? And she was like, the server was like, yeah, we've been busy as shit. And that's like, that was seemed to be the reason. We sold 20 of them or something, which is a lot here. There's 10 tables here.
Right.
So 20 of them is like, you know, you can sort of bet that it brought tables in because one person wanted it and they bring the family and there's enough. But so we're doing I don't have a name for it, but we're just doing a turkey burger this is a burger restaurant, by the way, if you're listening. The place that I manage is a small town pub. It seats about 60 or 70 people, I think.
Sounds like a good estimate. Yeah.
And I think, well, I know primarily we're known for our burgers, but we also do chicken sandwiches, fried chicken sandwiches. We're starting to be known a bit for our wings. And we do some, you know, bar style mac and cheese with bullshit on top. And a bar, we sell a lot of beer. And that's pretty much what we do here. So just so you know. So the thing that we're doing for the new year basically is a turkey burger and a whole grain bun. And it's a healthy burger. You can make a healthy burger out of it. And I was trying to make a feature that was, I don't know, had this component and this component, and you come in and you order this, and we make this entire composed signature turkey burger for you. And I don't know, I couldn't think of anything without bringing in too many ingredients and kind of making a mess out of it.
Right.
And basically not making any money. A lot of times those kind of become loss leaders anyways, but so I just put it out there today that we have this. We've tossed it around like, should we call it the better burger? Somebody said something today. Oh God, I wish I remember what they said. I was like, oh, that rolls off the tongue. But I'm really hoping that people take to it because it would be kind of nice to have, you know, when you have a pub food menu that's that heavy, there's nothing healthy. I mean, there's just nothing. We got a couple salads on there, but it's.
Yeah, I really don't mind turkey burgers.
Yeah.
I like them. And I think that's a cool alternative option for people that don't want beef or chicken. So hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, I had one today. I went on a little bit of a weight loss journey maybe a year ago. And I know I'm still a big guy if you're watching. You're like, this thick motherfucker? Fuck you, all right? But no, I lost 50 pounds.
Hell yeah.
And I think I put about 15 back on. And I'm comfortable with it. I'm okay with that. I mean, I still intend to kind of get back on track, but I lost 50 and I put 15 back on, but I put that 15 back on over a pretty extended period of time. And it was just drinking too much beer and eating too many chicken wings again, which is how I got to where I was at. But when I did lose weight, there's a lot to it, but the types of things I ate were whole grain ingredients that I could pronounce. And then obviously your portions and stuff like that, but a lot of turkey, a lot less red meat. And like your brother, I think, followed the same diet. We talked a lot over that time period. And so I know, like when I eat here, we have nothing. We just have nothing that really aligns with that. It's all good, but it's all really bad for you. And so it does feel good to say, I'm confident that this is actually, it's not only a less, like, oh, it's less unhealthy. It's literally a healthy option. It depends on what you put on it.
Right.
You know, if you start putting mayonnaise on there and fried onions and stuff like that, well, okay, now you've lost the idea. But if you do lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, avocado, you really wouldn't want to do like barbecue sauce or anything. But maybe you could work with some mustard on there. That's a pretty low impact item. You gotta get something saucy on there. If we had hummus, dude, that'd be the shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going on a tangent about this turkey burger.
Yeah, I think you should also get hummus.
Yeah.
Hummus is great.
Yeah. Hummus is great. I've thought about making it an appetizer here, but just making hummus all the time sounds really annoying.
It does.
And then cutting the vegetables, and are you gonna do just veggies, or are you gonna have a naan bread, and you're bringing in all these extra ingredients, bringing in chickpeas. tahini. We don't cook with olive oil here. You'd want to bring in olive oil,
Right.
and that's just, we have garlic and lemons and stuff like that. So conversation for another day.
Right.
Anyways, how was your week?
Wasn't bad. Like I said, the weekend was a good deal slower,
Oh yeah, that's right.
but I worked a 9-day stretch last week, which was pretty grueling. And by the end of it, I was just kind of over shit. And then I had Monday off, and that was pretty nice. And I did nothing and just kind of rehabilitated. My back has been acting up again.
Dang.
Yeah, I think it's a sciatic nerve or something, but it's just always my back lower left back just tightens up, and it's kind of my foot has been falling asleep on the way to work, and I think it's related to that as well.
Can you adjust your seat? I mean, you've probably tried all that, but
Yeah, I don't really know that that's the solution, but I think the solution is, for one, not working 9 days straight. Yeah, it's not
getting
helping,
old,
but
dude.
yeah, I've just been doing a lot of stretches and stuff and trying to ice it. It was acting up probably like 4 months ago, and it got to a point where it was really hard to walk. And I started wearing a brace for about a week and a half, and I was like stretching and stuff. And then one day there was just a really loud pop when I was stretching in my back, and it kind of alleviated things. And I woke up the next day and I felt fine. So I'm not really sure what's going on.
Whoa. If
Yeah.
you could figure out what that was.
Yeah.
You know, I've been having lower back issues, and I think I might have figured something out for me that it was starting to get better, and I was sleeping on my back. Well, I got new pillows for Christmas, and they're really big, and I think it's lifting my head too much.
Oh,
And I've also been editing this podcast. Half of the time I've been editing it in bed, and so I've been like propping myself up extra and putting my legs up and working on my laptop, and I'll be in that position for like 2 hours while I'm working on these videos. And I think it's a mixture of those things, of just bad posture in bed. But when I slept on my side last night, and I woke up and I had lower back pain again, and it was starting to relieve itself. But I was using icy hot ointment. That stuff it's really good. I don't know if you ever used it, but
I don't know that I have. I was using THC oil, or like THC rubs that I'd get from the dispensary.
oh yeah, I've heard those are good.
Yeah, I mean, mileage varies on them. Kind of depends. They're not all the same, and you'll even notice like there's different textures and consistencies, but they all have different potencies as well. The one I like is, I think it's just like a white tube with the blue bottle or blue label. I think it's called like RSO cream or something, and it's supposedly like all inclusive and includes like THC and CBD and everything else. And
Yeah, full spectrum.
full spectrum. Yep, there you go. And yeah, I mean, it was working really well. It makes you smell like a fucking weed nugget.
Nah,
Yeah, it's very potent weed smell to it. But
that's funny.
yeah, other than that, well, yeah, just one day at a time. I've had today off and tomorrow, and I'm playing a shit ton of Madden, which is interesting.
Let's play, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have 26, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's hop on tonight,
Okay. Yeah,
possibly.
I'm down.
I know we both get home late. You get home a little later. You'll get probably 45 minutes later than me tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, but we could definitely play. I'm on it enough.
I'm down to play. Yeah, I've been playing Superstar mode mostly.
Let's get into this.
All right. So what I've prepared this week is I kind of want to talk about what I call the way of a great line cook. My envisionment of this is somebody listening that's a budding line cook could maybe pull out some tips and stuff and get to be better.
Show us your tips.
Yeah. Because I feel that the way to become the best and most successful wine cook, and this kind of translates into other areas of life too, but for me, like, your primary focus is you just want to be in there and almost not thinking about anything, just doing. So you kind of have like your Rolodex in your mind of what you're needing to drop or what you're needing to push out, what you're needing to plate and all that. But it's not really active thought. It's just coming and going as you're doing the things, you know? So your brain is almost just kind of a computer that's like inputting information and processing it and throwing things out there, you know?
Yeah.
I think that the more that you think, the more that you kind of get in your own way. So yeah, I think the ultimate objective is to just kind of seamlessly move through the kitchen without thought and allow your brain to take in information and just reacting. You kind of want to do it naturally, you know? So I guess, how do you get to that point? I think we all have to start somewhere. And where I personally started was I was on a salad station and I started challenging myself to move faster. And I think that's the first step, first baby step towards becoming a great line cook, is pushing yourself, obviously at once you've learned the menu, pushing yourself to speeds. So I would literally sit there and I would have maybe 5 salads come in or something, and I would be like, all right, I'm going to try to get all these salads done in less than a minute. And I think that once you can, by the way, feel free to interject in any of this, but once you can get those building blocks, those fundamentals down, I think that goes a long way towards your ultimate goal of just being zen in the kitchen.
Yeah, speed is definitely probably the first. It's like the first wake up call for me. No, I think it's probably for almost every person that gets on the line. You realize that you can't keep up before you realize that you don't know technique.
Right.
You don't even know if you're a good cook yet. You just know you can't fucking keep up. If somebody says that they walk onto a line and they were able to keep up day one, they're probably lying. I don't know. Maybe they were in a kitchen that didn't actually have any pressure. They were overstaffed or they weren't busy enough. But in most restaurants, their entire goal is to keep labor as low as they possibly can. So figure out what the minimum amount of people is to serve a certain amount of customers. So yeah, the pressure, I think it probably took me years of just focusing on speed, even in prep, keeping the accelerator down, and not thinking I deserve a break. I'm going to go take a break. No, you can't worry about that.
Right.
You were just a vessel. You don't deserve anything right now. And I mean, I don't treat my employees that way, but if you really want to be great as a line cook, you can't think that way. You just have to keep your head down, break your back, sweat your ass off, hold in that pee, skip that cigarette, skip that meal, and just grind and grind and grind. And it's because you have a lot of time to make up for that the experienced people you're standing next to have already sorted out.
Yeah, and
I think that you're right that highlighting speed is probably the first hurdle.
Yeah, and I think ultimately you want to get to a point where you're not having those invasive thoughts of like, man, I really need to go get a cigarette, or you're thinking about some bullshit. I guess we all had kind of do that at some point, and I'm not saying that every time that I walk into the kitchen, I become a robot and stop thinking. I'm just talking about like where it really kicks in for me is when it's super busy and there's just no time to be wasted, and you just have to adapt and just start moving. I think that that's where it really comes into play, but I think that it's a good philosophy in general to be present in the moment without random thoughts entering your head and exiting your head, and
if you get in that, oh no, what do I do thought, just do something.
Right.
Just do something.
Yeah.
Because you're wasting time. And you'll figure out later on when you're more experienced in what order you should be doing things. You'll be able to, it'll all slow down. I promise it will slow down. It'll slow down. You'll be able to take a deep breath, look at everything, get the big picture, and figure out where should you start and then where should you work towards. But if you can't do that yet, and you probably won't be able to do that, especially your first year of a line cook, just do something. Just put your finger on a task and do it.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to go down swinging. I call it just throwing work at it until it gets done. It's not necessarily, even if you don't know what you're doing, just work as hard as possible.
Yeah.
Just, like you said, do something. Just make
There's
yourself
lists
useful.
everywhere.
Yeah.
The ticket tells you what to do.
Right.
Do that. If you get confused, do that.
Yeah, but you did touch on the next thing after speed, I think, is understanding your order of operations. And this is what I was talking about, like just your mental checklist of what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. So if you're working like a salad fry station and you have an appetizer that takes 6 minutes, but then you also have French fries that need to go down, which take about 3 minutes. So you would drop that appetizer first, and then in those next 3 minutes until you have to drop the fries for it all to come up together, start working on see whatever else that you can accomplish in those 3 minutes. So maybe you have salads or desserts that you need to get out too. Just challenge yourself to get those out before you have to drop those fries. You know?
Or start counting items on the next tables. Get the plates ready for when those come up, so your plating is good to go.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Don't stand there and watch something cook.
Right. There's always something that you could be doing that's going to make your job easier and everybody's job easier and just make everything more efficient. And yeah, you should just be focused on efficiency 100%. If you find yourself doing something that isn't towards the ultimate goal of selling food, then it's probably not worth doing, honestly. And I mean, maybe I'm just old school, but it does irk me when I see people just kind of like lean in, playing games on their phone and stuff in the middle of service. And I don't know, maybe some people multitask and shit and have a different viewpoint on that. But for me, it's like when I'm at work, it's just to work. Like I can lean around and scroll on my phone at home, so
Yeah.
I don't really see the point in doing that at work. But
I've had some jobs where I remember doing crossword puzzles a lot when I was the grill dude at Scotty's, which doesn't exist anymore. It was a busy burger joint. It was a regional chain, and they were in old national chain size restaurants, basically. So they were big. You'd have like, I don't know, 8 guys on the line, 2 expos. It was busy. But the reason I would be just dicking off is because I wasn't taking that job very serious, to be honest. And sometimes they would overstaff and they wouldn't want to cut. And I remember occasionally, and also like, the camaraderie wasn't really that great. I didn't really feel like I wanted to do anything for the guy that was taking my station after me on the next shift. So I would just kind of dick off a little bit. But I remember one time they had like 4 of us working that station. And we were like, what the fuck? Hey, you got 4 of us working grill. You only need 2 when it's busy. And they just insisted that we kept them there. So one guy was just buttering buns and one guy was reading tickets and the other guy was like, well, I'm just going to go help flat top. And we were like, yeah, that makes sense. And then I was just grilling. So I was just going, and they'd be like, 1 beef. And I go, 1 more beef. And they would go, 3 more beef. And I go, 3 more beef. And they go, 2 beef, medium cheddar. And I go, next off, 2 beef, medium cheddar, 2 beef, medium cheddar. Next off, 1 beef, medium well, provolone. Okay, cool. 3 new beef, 3 new beef. And I was just like, okay, wait, a 3-letter word for amphibian? I didn't really see, I know what you're saying, but in that setting, it was like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
They've literally made us into machines tonight, and they don't need, they have low expectations on this restaurant in general, which is the reason that place is not around anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that people find themselves in kitchens sometimes or in situations where they don't give a shit as much, and that's completely understandable and I think acceptable to a degree. But I don't know, I'm trying to dole out advice more so for people that want to excel.
You're probably not listening to this podcast if you're an industry person and
if you're that type of industry person.
Yeah. I mean, I was that type of industry person, but I don't know. I was working 2 jobs at the time.
Yeah. You also, like you said, you didn't give a shit about that job.
I didn't
You really didn't care if you got fired or not. So
yeah, I just remember at times being like, oh, they don't even think I'm a good line cook, because I'd be working with people. There was a lot of good cooks there that were sort of undiscovered, I felt like.
Yeah.
Like they would hire 40 guys and it would just so be that 6 of them were outstanding line cooks.
I think you even ended up bringing a couple of them with you to your next.
Yeah. 2 or 3 over the next few years of my career. So there was just undiscovered talent And I felt like one of them too, where I was like, dude, I'm just fucking, you don't even know, you know, you think that me and this guy can work the same station because we're the same skill level or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I think you worked there for a moment too, but you've worked in those settings before where you just
Right.
go, like, they're not even cued in on where their talent is.
Yeah.
And so why even show out? There was no reward.
Right.
I was being paid terribly. And dude, I remember asking the GM there for a raise, and he was like, well, do you think, like, the way he jumped around it, I realized he hadn't even watched me work my station at all.
You just saw it that like he had no idea who you even were.
Yeah. He goes, Dave, listen. God, I always do that, Dave, for some reason. He just goes, yeah, Sam, listen. I go, no, it's Sean. He goes, okay, listen, when you get the fry station down, I go, the fry station, dude. No, I'm your grill cook, you know? And you're paying me like your fry guy. And I just had this moment where I go, you haven't even watched me cook. And there's been plenty of nights here where I'm bailing out a guy in a station I haven't even fucking been trained on.
Yeah, it was hilarious because all of the managers seemed so oblivious at that job, and they were just raking in money like in the first couple of years, hand over fist. And
It seemed like it for sure.
but it seemed like nobody had any idea why.
Yeah, the volume was crazy. The menu was insane.
Yeah,
There was so many burgers. It was insane.
yeah, it was pretty wild. But
and I got my ass kicked there a couple times. I mean, sometimes that type of volume, you know, there was moments where I go, oh, wow, I cannot handle this. But overall, anyways, I'm sorry. Carry on.
it's all good. So I think the next step after that is working on your discipline. And I think life discipline will kind of carry over into work and vice versa, you know. But I mean, in order to be truly great at anything, you have to be truly disciplined. And I think that it also, discipline just helps you build your composure. And I think that that's also a key to kind of tapping into that Zen flow state that I'm talking about. Is you need to have ultimate composure in that no matter what comes at you, you can deal with it. And the only way that you can get there is just become regimented in yourself, in your work. Just treat it seriously and just try to develop your patience in general, letting things.
It's like sort of oxymoronic. How do you, it's like you have to be patient to get to your patience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there's a fault with this. It's, I mean, you're trying to say like, there's plenty of people who have gone down this path and this is how it goes when it goes right.
Right.
And so just know that patience is coming. Be patient.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm not, you know? That's why I say that.
Another thing is just making sure that your cleaning is on point too. And I think that there's a couple of different avenues or reasons why that's important. And one is that it helps you develop that regimented discipline, like I was talking about. I worked a job where 3 days a week, every day when I came in, I can't remember if it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think, because I think we were off Mondays. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday we'd clean the hoods. Wednesday I would detail the grill, and there's something else on Thursday. But regardless, it was just strict deep cleaning every week. And it just kept everything immaculate for one, but it got me going in the right direction. You know, it started my wheels. It was like that first cup of coffee in the morning that gets you going. It was like, it got me in that mood and mindset to work to begin with. But then also it just kind of helps you take more pride in everything around you and what you're doing. And also you're just in a cleaner environment, which promotes just vibing with everything and being in a Zen state. I don't think that you can really find Zen in filth. Clean, fast, disciplined cook can lock into that flow state. And I'm telling you, once you get it and you can unlock that in your mental, then it just makes work easier. It makes life easier because you're not struggling anymore. You're just showing up and you're just doing your thing. And, you know, when it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
And you can continue to worry about your regular life.
Yeah. I think that if I had to just peel off random advice for a line cook, it would probably be to, man, it's kind of tough because you like laid a lot of good stuff out there. But yeah, I guess I would say to try to clean as you work. I mean, like clean your utensils, and if they're starting to get dirty, don't be afraid just to go swap them out and let your dishwasher wash dishes. Sometimes you'll be in a situation where you don't have a dishwasher, and like here, you're a lunch cook. You're the only person in the kitchen, and so if you get popped for lunch, you don't have any backup. You don't have a dishwasher, so if your tongs are getting dirty, you're gonna take them to the dish tank. They're gonna sit there until the night crew comes in. But yeah, keep your utensils clean and wipe your station as you go. Man, I personally, I don't keep a very clean floor. Like during service, I wipe shit off the board. Like I don't have debris on my board ever really, and it kind of bothers me. So I'll if we're staging something, sometimes obviously you're slinging food around and stuff that falls off the plates or off the buns or whatever type of cuisine you're doing. But then you sell all that out, and you should try to set moments where your cutting board is clear of orders, and you wipe that down, sanitize, and then you're supposed to let it air dry. So then you turn around and then you work on your flat top or your broiler, or your fryer, wherever it is. Get your spider out, get the stuff out of your fryer, scrape between your grill grates and scrape down your flat top, and then go back and drop the new set of tickets. You know what I'm saying? Like just try to, if it goes a long way to take what takes about probably 2 minutes total to just be like, hey, we're going to do a 2-minute speed, like wipe the cutting board, sanitize, go back, scrape, scrub, this and that. Okay, now let's go back and cut. And now you're 2 minutes behind on those tickets. And if you're really busy, you might have already been 5 minutes behind. But sometimes, you're just going to the stuff's going to pile up, and then some contamination is going to start to take place, and you're going to get disorganized because maybe your mise en place is getting sort of, they're combining, as you reach out in 1/9 pan over here, and your tongs are used for this. And because a lot of times you'll try to keep it together and you get busy and you start making compromises, and they can never be safety compromises, but sometimes they'll just be out of habit, and
Right.
you go, oh, I always use this little plastic tongs to get the olives out of this container because I don't want the flavor of olives on my hands as I make this salad. And then you're getting busy and you fucking drop the tongs and you just go, I'm just going to grab it with my hands now. And now, you're dropping an olive in your grated parm, and stuff like that starts to happen.
I will say this. I use my hands for everything, but I go through a billion gloves a fucking shift.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with going through. Yeah. Billions. There's something wrong with a billion, but I would say it in almost every restaurant I've worked in, doesn't matter how busy the restaurant is. There's just so many gloves that one human can go through, but one busy day for me is usually 100 gloves for one person.
I'll go through a box of gloves in a shift easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to wash your hands a lot as well, but
yeah.
See, I don't know. I guess I got kind of carried away there, but I would say, yeah, focus on the speed. Focus on cleaning as you go, and your backups. Dude, stock and stock and stock and stock. People will like, hey, go fill a 9th pan, and they'll fill it 90% of the way. You might as well have just not filled it.
Right.
Get that shit out of here.
Yeah.
No, I mean 90% is fine, but you need to fill your pans 120%. I mean, they should be heaping.
Yeah.
Like get as much in that vessel as you can. If it's something that's going to be in your mise en place that you're going to need to reach for, and then make sure there's another one backing it up, and a backup bottle of this and a backup, and then you get to that. And if you really have time to set up for service, you can have backup utensils, and maybe you have one seasoning shaker that you use. Well, maybe you have multiple seasoning shakers, but let's say you have like your steak rub, let's just say, in whatever restaurant, and you have a seasoning shaker, and then you have a backup container to refill it. Well, then you'll get to the point where you have a backup shaker, and all these little micro backups, all this little stuff, it starts to shed time off, and then start to get smoother, and it starts to make the speed, everything starts to go a little bit faster. But sometimes you don't have time to really stock like that. It can be kind of tough.
Yeah, but if you can, then all of that stuff kind of is conducive towards being just a well-oiled machine and not having to think about, oh shit, like I need tomatoes.
Yeah.
Or like just that little split second of like, it distracts you for one, but then also a lot of times you have to leave the line to go get whatever you need to get, or you need to ask somebody for it, whatnot.
Yeah.
And all of that just, it sets you back even more than you know, because not only does it take that time, it also throws you off of the groove that you were in.
Yeah. You know, when you watch a good line cook walk in for their shift, they might be socializing a little bit, but when they're on the clock, they'll be walking to their station, swapping out their sandy bucket, grabbing new towels, swapping out their utensils, and then going straight back to opening drawers, looking to what they need to stock, and they're stocking and they're stocking and they're stocking. And even if they think it's going to be slow, they're doing that shit no matter what. And then they'll socialize afterwards maybe. But that's pretty much what every good line cook I've ever worked with, that's pretty much how their shift starts.
Right.
You walk in, and because you never know when it's going to happen. I mean, not every restaurant's like that. Some, you know definitely when it's going to happen because you're a reservation, you know, like you're booked, and you know the next reservation starts at whatever. But yeah, and good luck out there. Sometimes you just don't got it. But there's something out there for you.
Yeah, that's true. It's not everybody was cut out for line cooking, but I mean, if you can kind of see yourself start to take those strides into something that you really want to do, I think that all of those things are going to help you out. And it's just, like I said, it's just about being mentally and physically prepared at all times. And it mostly just boils down to self-discipline. How willing are you to allow yourself to just ignore everything for this ultimate objective of putting out the best food that I can in these next 6 hours, doing the best work that I can. But if you do go down that path and you actually set yourself like that, I promise that you will be successful as long as you can do it.
Yeah. And a lot of people can.
Yeah.
A lot of people can do it.
All right. I also wanted to talk about this. This is actually something that you sent me. I don't even know if you remember it, a few months ago, when you were like, hey, I think this would be good for the pod and maybe you should look into it. And I did. And I think it's kind of interesting. It's a case of a food catastrophe that happened in 1981 in Spain. And it's the story of toxic oil syndrome.
I sort of remember sending it, but I don't remember the story.
Did you look into it at all?
No, I remember reading maybe a paragraph summary and just sending it to you.
So, yeah, this, like I said, it happened in 1981, and this was in Spain. Some cooking oil was somehow contaminated and got out to people, and they think that it might be like fraud. They were trying to stretch out oil with some bullshit oil.
Oh.
If you don't know, rapeseed oil is better known as canola oil, but canola oil, they get rid of the erucic acid. So pure raw rapeseed oil is more used for industrial means like lubricating machinery and stuff. And somehow that oil found its way onto people's kitchen countertops. Really,
was it like a packaging thing where they actually made it for industrial purposes and they put it in the cooking bottles, or was it didn't get refined well enough?
Well, no, that's what it seemed to be, was that it was brought into Spain for the purpose of using it in industrial means. And somehow they ended up blending it with other oils and using some kind of dyes or something. There was some kind of method that they think, a treatment process that basically turned it into poison.
Yes. My favorite, dude.
Your poison's your favorite?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, started killing a lot of people. Started with, I mean, kids got it really bad. The symptoms were short breath, rashes, gastrointestinal complications. It affected respiratory, liver, brain, muscles, arteries, pretty much everything. All said, it ended up killing 330 people and affected 20,000 more.
It's a whole fucking city.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But some of the test oil, they found alanine in, which is supposedly really bad. But I don't know enough about it to know the exact science of it. But I guess you don't want alanine and you don't want uric acid.
Yeah, it seems like it. 300 people died, and
But I will say that in testing, both of those things were ruled out as the cause of the disease.
oh,
So it's
was there a disease?
it's kind of a mystery. Yeah, it's the toxic oil syndrome. I think it's this is
like this is a singular disease.
it's a singular disease,
Oh.
and I think this is the only.
That's the cause of death.
Yes.
Toxic oil syndrome was the cause of death.
Yes, toxic oil
Okay.
syndrome was the cause of death. There's some
So they pretty much were like, we don't fucking know.
right. Yeah.
So how do they even know it was the oil? No, that was just a common.
Well, that's the other thing is that there are actually conspiracy theories too. So in 1984, a magazine called Cambio 16 accused the pharmaceutical company Bayer of causing the crisis by
what
putting.
bear doing something to kill people? No, dude.
Oh, I never. But
This
then,
is the first time they tasted blood. They're like, this was really awesome. Let's go buy Monsanto. We love it.
but they think it might have been from pesticides on tomatoes. But yeah, there are a couple of other conspiracies as to what it might have come from. But I think the general consensus is that somehow it came from the oil, but they don't really know what caused it.
1981, is that what you said?
81.
Ni-
Yeah,
19
was when this happened.
So it's not even like, I mean, science is pretty well established for stuff like this in 1981, I feel like, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying if it were 1781, they might go, oh, what did Maria have? Oh, she had the oil too? Ah, see?
Well,
And
because
it's a witch, you know, or something. some of the some of the stuff that they might come up with way back might have had really no grounds.
and
But
I believe they continue to try to test these things for about a decade, and they're like trying to figure out exactly what the cause was, and I don't
wow.
think that they ever really nailed it. But regardless, the aftermath of all of this had the president put strict regulations on oil, which
Spanish president?
yeah, the Spanish president ended up putting regulations on oil. And what happened from that was that Spain ended up having really good oil. And you'll notice that most oil in the supermarket nowadays is derived from Spain. And that's kind of a direct result of this, just because they had to.
Like, they have good canola oil?
No, there's no canola oil in Spain basically now.
Oh, right, because I was going to say,
No, olive oil.
right, yeah. Yeah, I would say.
But in the
Spain is definitely one of those countries, when you look at olive oil and you look for single origin olive oil, I mean, you would like to have single origin olive oil typically when you're shopping for it. And Spain is definitely one of those countries that is a leader, and that
Yeah.
it seems to be.
Yeah, they have some of the best olives in the world. And what's funny though is that in the immediate aftermath of this, olive sales drastically decreased across the country, along with most other produce, because people were just leery about eating anything that had to do with this. So in the immediate aftermath, it really took a hit, but in the ensuing decades, it's kind of turned Spain into like a fine purveyor of olive oil.
Because of regulation, government
Right.
oversight.
Yeah, because they forced them to make the best olive oil that they could, basically.
I love cooking with olive oil. I pretty much, it's expensive, but olive oil is so sought after that a lot of companies will try to fool you into thinking that you're using olive oil.
Yeah.
I think I sent you a bottle once of something I bought, and it was a green bottle, and it said really large. Usually I spend a little bit of time purchasing my olive oil, and I'll look at it. Like I said, I might look at the country of origin and read it carefully to make sure that it's pure olive oil. And I'm just trying to make the best price decision also. So I'll stand in the olive oil. Okay. I mean, it's a big purchase. It's not cheap.
Yeah, and olive oils, not every olive oil is made the same. They don't all taste the same.
Yeah. And so but this one I got, it was I must have just been in a rush or something, and I bought it, and it was a classic olive oil looking jar, green hue, and the oil that came out was yellowish green, like deep yellow. It looked like olive oil. It was a little bit thicker. Anyways, and it said olive oil really big on it. It was by far the largest text, like by far the largest text. It was olive oil. It might even said extra virgin and then giant olive oil. And I cooked through like half of it, and I remember maybe thinking that it was really mild. Like it didn't really seem to have that strong of aromatics to it, but whatever. Because I'll cook my eggs with olive oil, and like at the time, my daughter was starting to eat some solids, and so I would make her a single scrambled egg in the morning, and I'd cook it with olive oil, and so they fooled me into feeding her some bullshit. But finally, one day I looked at it, and it said canola oil with olive oil. And I was like, bro, what? And I think I sent you the picture. It was like canola oil, real small canola oil with olive oil, giant. I was like, dude, that is fucking misleading. You know, like the packaging and all this stuff. And
Yeah. And I've also heard that canola oil is actually not very good for you.
I've heard that too. And I don't really know. I think that in general, oils are not really that good for you, you know?
Yeah.
But olive oil is the outlier. And you could maybe argue that like beef tallow, olive oil, and ghee, clarified butter, are the outliers of cooking fats that you should feel okay with. Like they have I don't know if ghee really has health benefits. And you could argue with people that beef tallow has health benefits, but I don't think that it's very easy to argue that olive oil does not have health benefits.
Right.
I mean, there are like suggestions that you just take a shot of olive oil, you know, and nobody's telling you to do that with fucking margarine for sure. You know, nobody's telling you should be putting a little like Pam in your mouth or taking a bite of stick of butter or, you know, eating Crisco. And so there is something. I am not a health expert, but I seek out olive oil and I cook with it. And there's a lot of reasons why olive oil is not always the fat for the job as far as how it acts or maybe the bitterness that it adds to a dish. But I put that all aside for the quality of what it does for your body. So I will still cook with olive oil in moments that maybe the technique is telling me I shouldn't. Olive oil is good. And I've actually really grown to like the flavor of like a scrambled egg with olive oil.
Oh, yeah.
Or grilled cheese with olive oil instead of butter. And my daughter doesn't really know the difference because you know, man, her mom cooks with, her mom saves bacon fat and uses bacon fat as her primary, you know, oil, and I use olive oil as my primary. And then there's moments where we're just using vegetable oil because we're low on money or whatever.
Right.
We're scooping up some of that margarine and just go, so, well, we're using margarine. Cut your crock, y'all. I can't believe it's not butter. I can. This tastes like shit.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way in that olive oil is primarily what I use, but I also use butter, and I think that I more so will use it for the flavor. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
tastes great.
I'll use olive oil to keep the pan from sticking and stuff, and then I'll throw in just a little bit of butter, you know.
Dude, I made a note earlier that just to bring this up randomly, can you think of one thing that if you add butter, it makes it taste worse?
Well,
adding butter, my proposal to my coworkers at the time was that adding butter always improves the flavor of a dish.
Yeah, I can't think of a single thing, honestly, that butter would.
I mean, too much butter, granted, like.
Yeah, it just tastes like you're eating a stick of butter.
But I think you could fling a little butter in your Coca-Cola and probably be pretty happy, you know? You're like, hey, that ain't bad.
Butter in your coffee.
Don't think about what your stomach is thinking or about what your throat might react, because sometimes, you know, butter it's very intense, you know? I don't know, dude. I can't think of one thing. You put it a little bit in your top ramen and it's a game changer. We made pot roast last night and Serena asked me to take the juices coming off of it and make it thicker. And I was just going to throw a little slurry in there and let it keep cooking for 20 minutes, and I figured it would kind of come together.
Yeah.
But she was like, the pot roast is ready. Will you make this juice thick? All right, kids, time to eat. And I was like, oh shit, I need to make it thick now. So I made a little roux in a pan, and then I like tilted the crock pot, and I scooped out all of the juice, and I made gravy. And then I poured the gravy back in. But there was a decent amount of butter. There's probably half a stick of butter in this crock pot. And it was really, she nailed the pot roast to begin with. But I think adding that butter even took it to the next level.
Hell yeah, man.
And that's what made me think of it. And then today we were toasting whole grain buns. And I was like, oh, whole grain is, especially you toast it dry, we need something, like at home when I make a sandwich with whole grain bread, if I'm toasting it, I'll put olive oil in the pan because you really need that fat to like really lock it up and make it nice and crispy on the outside.
Yeah.
And so I go, we're gonna add butter and we're gonna do this, and it's gonna kind of make it a little less healthy. But somebody goes, is it gonna make it taste bad? And I go, you can't add butter to something and make it taste bad. What are you talking about?
And unless the butter burns.
Yeah, but then brown butter is really nice.
Brown butter is awesome.
Yeah. So can you think of something, if you're listening and you think of something that adding butter makes it worse, let us know in the comments, because I can't think of anything. I've been thinking for hours.
Yeah, I'd honestly
Put butter on your barbecue ribs. It's not gonna make it worse, dude, I promise. It would be weird. Like, you go get barbecue ribs someplace and they come out with a fresh pat of butter on it, and you're just like, why is there butter on there? And they just go, it's just what we do. And you go, oh, fuck it. You're not going to be upset. You take a bite and go, yeah, that actually works. What else? It obviously works on chicken wings because that's how buffalo sauce was born.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I honestly can't think of anything that butter would make worse.
I used to work at this
Even
guy
like desserts and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a mainstay in a lot of desserts.
Yeah.
Probably put a lump in your, maybe in some drinks, but
Mountain Dew.
butter, yeah. Yeah. But if we're talking food, bro, I just can't think of it. It might ruin a texture here. No, you can't. One of my favorite things is raisin cinnamon bread with butter on it.
That sounds awesome right now.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Well, that was cool. I had food poisoning last week, so it's a little bit ironic. Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was awful. And it's self-diagnosed, so I guess I'm not certain that's food poisoning. But
I think I've had food poisoning once. Yeah, also self-diagnosed, but there was just one instance where the reason why I think it was food poisoning is because me and a coworker had both eaten. I think we had some kind of get together or something for the whole staff, and we'd both eaten the same thing at that get together. And the next day we were just, I literally could not stop vomiting.
oh man,
I went to work, and like I was trying to get through my prep and stuff, and I just kept going away. I would vomit, I would clean up, wash my hands, obviously. Like I was doing it the best that I could because I needed to be there. I needed the money, but I also just needed to be there. I needed to get shit done. And
big no-no, by the way.
I think I might have actually been opening the kitchen by myself at that. For whatever reason, it just turned out that like I'd opened the kitchen that day. Yeah, if you're listening to this and you're puking, I would say if you have that ability, just go home.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
It is unfortunately one of those things in this industry where the pressure is on to sort of
fight through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I if you're a manager, you try your best. Well, if you're a manager, you try your best to just like honor the sacredness of your customer's meal and know that if you have somebody vomiting that they need to go, and there's a 24-hour timer on that. But the problem is that it's just fucking tough, and we've all been there. We've all been pressured to work through that, and
yeah, because even at the time,
it's a tough one. It's one of those things that people kind of don't like to talk about because basically in all levels of hospitality, server, cook, dishwasher, host, if you work in hospitality, restaurant, golf club, fast food, factories. This is kind of one of those subjects that people are like, oh, that's kind of, people kind of work. You're not like puking on the line. That's totally different.
Right.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
And if somebody pukes at work, you're like, dude, get out of here. But there's just, I don't know. I don't know really what to say about it, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Man, yeah. I personally, I fight through a lot of sicknesses at work. I do my best to not call off unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
But I believe that I shouldn't. You know, I believe the right thing to do. If I had a coworker that I was responsible for that was sick and they were obviously sick,
Yeah.
I would send them home.
Yeah. I think the problem lies in just it starts to unravel. Like the staff doesn't really, in a restaurant, you really need everybody there. Where I think that there's other jobs where maybe if somebody's sick, then they just get behind on their work and they're going to come back and it might slow one process down or whatever. But in a restaurant, it is immediate. The impact is immediate when somebody's short. That table feels it. Your coworkers feel it.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to be there for things to work. And it's also a business filled with degenerates in a bit. So if it's like there's blood in the water, and if you let somebody not come in because they said they were puking at 10 p.m. last night and they work at 5 today, and technically they shouldn't be working, but if you let that happen, then everybody knows that they can call off and all they have to do. I mean, there's no evidence, there's nothing, and it's really difficult. And so I guess what I was saying is in this industry that it's unlikely that a staff trusts each other 360, where everybody trusts everybody.
Oh yeah.
I think right now we have a crew where I think, when I opened this restaurant, the primary thing was dependability in my staff above most things. And that has its own issues. But I think right now we're kind of in a spot where if somebody calls off sick, it's pretty understood that they're not lying and it's true. And so, if somebody told me they were sick last night, we would probably follow the law and be like, okay, you should take tomorrow off.
Yeah.
But you're going to make it up as soon as you come back. You're fucking covering this person or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In that instance, obviously, like I just said, I push myself.
Yeah.
And more so, I think, push myself than anybody else pushing me. But I felt the energy from my boss of like, oh, are you fucking serious, dude?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think he meant it like, fucking just stay. But that's how it came off to me. But I think that he saw pretty immediately within like 20, 30 minutes. He's like, no, dude, like, you've got to fucking go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was hell, dude. I pretty sure I pulled over on the way home. I worked like 30 minutes away from work, and I pulled over and puked at one point, and then I had to stop, and I just got Gatorade after that and just laid around drinking Gatorade, throwing it up. But yeah, I thought it was food poisoning. I'm not sure what it was, but that's what I imagined food poisoning to be.
The only time that I know is food poisoning is you took me to the hospital. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I ate breakfast somewhere and the egg white was runny. It's the only thing on that dish that I could think. It was hash browns and eggs and bacon, I think, and toast or something. And that the egg whites were runny, and I ordered over medium, and I considered sending it back because I don't like over easy. Usually because the white's kind of runny, and I don't like runny whites. So I was like, well, fuck it, dude. I don't want to be that guy today. I'll just eat it. It's not that big of a deal. I ate it and I went home, and like 4 hours later, I was in the bathroom. I couldn't even stand up. I was puking. I was dizzy. And I called you to come, for you to leave work and come to my apartment and pick me up and take me to the hospital and go back to work. And I did not believe that I could get behind the wheel of a car. I was so belligerent. And so people will tell you that food poisoning doesn't set in that quick, but it was the only thing that made sense to me. And so I went to the hospital, and I was there for a while, and they told me I had food poisoning, which is why I know it was food poisoning, but they don't tell you what meal it was.
Right.
But I think it was that egg, dude. I think it was an egg white, the runny egg white. And
Yeah.
and that restaurant, actually, I found out like later that year, they ended up going on probation with the health department because they weren't cold holding their eggs properly.
Oh,
Which I've never worked in a breakfast joint, but I think that's kind of common.
well,
I think that you see guys like get like flats of eggs and just be like, we'll go through them in the next hour.
sometimes, yeah, I can say that there's definitely some of that where I work. And I can also tell you that when eggs come in, they don't always come in perfect because we get 30 dozen cases of eggs. It's a big ass 20-pound egg case, you know, and even in the best of conditions, some of those eggs are cracked.
Yeah.
And I always throw those cracked eggs out
For sure.
because I know that bacteria can get in there, and maybe it did in the shipping facility or whatever. I mean, it's a long way to get to our restaurant.
Yep.
But I don't know that everybody's throwing those out.
Yeah.
That's all it could take is just, you know, somebody cracking that into a frying pan and serving an egg that, yeah, the white's not cooked, and next thing you know, you're in the hospital.
Yeah. Yep. And so the most recent one I had this weekend was I did leave work. I came in, I ate on the way to work. I stopped and had a salad somewhere, and everything seemed fine. It was a walk-up service place, and I didn't witness any bad food handling. And I got to work, and like it was only an hour after I ate, I started feeling really shitty. And I said something to someone, man, I feel kind of nauseous and dizzy. And or someone was like, dude, I can't work tonight. And I go, I'm not asking you to work tonight. Dude. Fucking, come on, man. You know me. I'll fucking work through anything, you know?
Right.
And then 2 hours later, it was a Friday night, and we were busy, and I could not do it anymore, dude. I was like, I think something is really wrong. And the guy that's working with me goes, you don't look all right. And somebody's like, yeah, you don't look good. And I go, something's not right. So I started sending texts out, and I was so miserable just trying to get that text out. I was just like, hey, can you cover me? And anyway, somebody came in, and I went home, and Serena was like, wow, you're home early? It's like 7:30. And I go, yeah, I don't feel good, and I'm going to go lay down. And I woke up at 9, and I got in the shower just to feel better. And I puked like 8 times or whatever, just over and over and over. And it was clearly that salad I had, you know, sorry, that's gross, but it was the salad that I had. And I started feeling better right away. Not great, but better. And I was like, well, that had to have been it. You know, it was like, there was something in that my body was not liking. It's out. I feel better. And then I had a fever at like 6 a.m, but I still didn't feel nauseous. I just felt feverish, and that cleared up, and I went to work the next day. Like really I felt like 70%. I didn't feel sick anymore. I just felt like, I really felt exhausted.
Yeah. So if you work in the industry, do everything you can to make sure that people don't have to go through that shit.
Yeah.
That
Take sanitation seriously.
living hell, man.
Yeah.
I think that's about all we have for the show this week.
Yeah. Follow us everywhere. WeFeedThem.com. Follow us on Instagram and Instagram, Facebook. We have a TikTok. It's not going so well. We keep getting flagged for content. I'm pretty much giving up on TikTok.
Fuck 'em.
YouTube's going pretty well. If you haven't joined in on the YouTube fun, it's the exact same content, but it has more views. So
Yeah.
you can add
You get to
it.
look at me.
And we get better analytics when people are on YouTube. So we've actually seen also, hey, shout out New York City. Because, yeah, New York City and Los
Star
Angeles.
spreading the news.
I don't know what's going on, but you guys are showing some love, and somehow we've landed in New York City more so than in our hometown, which we really kind of knew that when we started this. A lot of businesses are kind of like grassroots, and you need your community to get behind you. And we still plan to kind of do that because we're here. A podcast does not need to be localized, and so we didn't do anything to aim to New York and Los Angeles, and it's kind of cool. Maybe it's just because they're giant, there's a lot of people there, but it's cool that something that we did landed there. And so if you're in New York City, I've never been, we would fucking love to. I would love to go to New York City.
Yeah.
I've never been to LA either, but I'm really not a fan of getting on a plane.
If you're rich and you want to have us out in New York to do a live show for you, there you go.
Hey,
Yeah,
send
we'll
us
be
a check, baby.
Yeah.
We'll say you're handsome. Whatever you want, I don't care.
But yeah, comment and like as well.
Share it.
Yeah.
Copy the link, put it in a text, and send it to people because people are not doing that. I can see the analytics.
Just leave the copied link in your note or whatever, your copy note. So then anytime that you paste, it's just right there.
Send it to your group of friends.
You should.
Yeah. Send it to your mother.
Send it to that sexy chick that you used to bang that you worked with, and she was a server, and you were a fry cook, and you haven't talked to her in 3 years, but you've been thinking about that booty, and you think that, you know, showing her a cool podcast might get her to come over to your house. I think that you should send it to her.
Yep.
All right.
All right, cool. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week, and keep feeding them.
And feed a leap, dude.
Toot toot. Sound like a foot fetish version of
Feed a leap, feed.